All right. Welcome to another episode of Relevant Discussions where we discuss things nobody else wants to discuss. I'm Brady. What's going on, everybody? Hope everybody's doing well. Looks like T's doing really good. She's out this week. She's unplugged for real, for real. She's on vacation, enjoying herself. Good for her. Well deserved. Um, not to sit here too long with this man here. This is my dear friend, my brother Francis Pierre. He's here to sit with us today, tell us about himself, his business. I've been excited for this one for a little bit, so I'm glad to have you here, Francis. Welcome.
Thank you, man. We've been talking about this for a little bit, man, and we here. I'm upset though. T's not here. I don't know. She didn't want to see my face.
Get you, T. No sir, no sir. I love you, T.
It's all good, man. Yeah, definitely an honor.
Absolutely. Yeah, no, me, just kind of just giving it some history, man. Let me see. Well, first off, like, comment, and subscribe. Yeah. We're on major platforms, so please do that. Check out our last episode in regards to unplugging, and what are we talking about? And vacationing. I was enjoying my vacation and did not answer my phone. Just my phone was like, it was basically gone. You gotta do it sometimes though.
You gotta put it away, man. Just unplug, sure. Chill out with the fam.
Absolutely. Oh yeah, and we're gonna get into that too. We're gonna get into that too for sure. For sure. Yep. But yes, so Francis. Yep. So Francis is the founder and lead business architect for Blueprint Group.
Yep.
Francis, what does Blueprint Group do?
Blueprint Group, what don't we do, right? We do it all, man. But essentially what Blueprint Group is, we're a business development company, right? But we provide advisory services to startup businesses, existing businesses, anybody with a business, essentially. And we're kind of funky because the way we do it, we have what I call a suite of products and services that we developed in-house. A lot of them we developed in-house. They kind of spun out to their own companies, but they all integrate and work together. Okay. And we also strategically partnered with some other professionals in the industry and that do specific niche things. So we kind of offer all these products and services to businesses to help them develop. Really, the focal point is around capital, accessing capital, different forms of capital. That's kind of the bread and butter of the company. Everything that we do revolves around capital. You know?
Capital. What entrepreneur doesn't need capital in order to start their business? So capital.
Big time.
Yeah, a lot of times that's the only factor that's stopping somebody from getting going. So
Big
you know,
time.
Francis being able to provide that type of service is definitely key, especially in today's marketplace. Not to I started to jump back. We're gonna be jumping back. We're gonna be jumping forward. There's gonna be
go all over the place.
Yeah,
man.
we're gonna be all over the place.
There's a lot to catch up on.
Yeah, oh yeah, for sure. So, so Francis and I, I'm gonna talk about when we met. Yeah. So we met. Let me see. We met going into freshman year of high school.
Yep.
The funny day, the reason why one of the reasons why I really remember this day is the day that we met Dominique Wilkins.
Oh.
Yeah, that day was crazy.
Our other brother Marshall, man.
He was,
the guy.
Yeah, man.
I remember that. That was in Cambridge, Memorial Drive. Yep. 4th of July cookout, right?
Absolutely. Yeah, it was.
Yep.
Dude, step out the car. We didn't even step out the car, out the van yet. And then, damn, what year was that? That was like 96?
Yeah,
like 96, 97?
He was with the Celtics. Remember he had that little stint with the Celtics?
Yeah.
That was that year.
Yo, so we're sitting in the van.
Yep.
And then they open the door and they're like, yo, y'all can't come outside yet, but we got a surprise for you.
Yeah.
Me and Francis were sitting in the back next to each other. And this one of those older vans that got the captain chairs.
Yeah.
So we're sitting there with we're hanging on the armrest like yo, what they doing?
Yeah.
What are they talking about? And then I'm like, all right, y'all can come out the car now.
Yeah.
We step out. I know for me, being already short, I'm already looking down at the ground.
Yeah.
And then I stop looking up and I just see somebody's legs just mad thin. And I keep looking up and I'm like, oh, Yo,
That's Dominique.
that's Dominique Wilkins.
Yo, that was extra special because back then, we had hoop dreams, right? We all thought we were going to the league. And, like, I never met a ball player before,
My first time.
that close in person. And I remember that day, man. He pulled up in a black Lexus GS.
Wow, I didn't even see it.
Yo, I remember that. Tinted out, blacked out. And I remember seeing the car, and then we were like, yo, who is that? Blah, blah, blah. And we got out the van, and we looked up, and this dude had, like, the biggest hands ever.
This dude dapped up my elbow from like, start here from all the way here.
Yeah.
Like, man, that was
But that was like
exciting.
one of our first memories together. It was like, we met Dominique Wilkins, and since then we've been brothers, man.
Yeah, we graduated high school together, same homeroom.
Yep.
As y'all noticed, we got the same last name.
Yep.
We're not related.
Yep.
But teachers, but we brothers anyways.
Brady
Regardless.
Pierre, you were in front of me in homeroom. It was me, and then we had our other boy Vlad.
Yep. That's
He was,
Pierre too.
Pierre too.
Those are some fun ass times, yo. Fun ass times, yo.
For sure.
I don't know how many times I had to explain that we're not brothers. You guys aren't brothers?
Yeah, I know, right?
We're not.
Eventually, we just like,
Yeah, we are. We are. I thought you guys weren't. Well,
Right.
y'all need to make up your mind.
Exactly, right?
But so continuing on with the whole high
man.
school thing, I brought it up in a podcast probably maybe like maybe a month ago or something like that, where you were heavily into personal finance.
Yeah, man. Remember that back in the day? High school, Everett High. I'll never forget. Miss Salemi. Miss Salemi got me into business classes. I'll never forget that. Shout out to Miss Salemi over there. But now business class. I remember I was just talking about this the other day with one of our other boys, Gary. But I made all my boys take a personal finance class. I was just like, you got to get into it. You know what I mean? And that came from the crib. Pop Dukes was just like always about credit, your money, being on point. And then when I saw they offered that senior year, I remember senior year, they had the business classes. They were like personal finance, and there was some other business class. I was like, oh, we got to take that. Yeah. So I made everybody take a class, and it was just like, yo, this is the start. We about to go to college, and, life is going to move fast. So
it did, and it definitely is.
Yeah. Look where we are now.
Yeah, man. So, so, taking that personal finance class, and for me, it was something that was being talked about. My parents won't let me dig through their finances or anything like that. But when my dad would go to the car dealership, he would be like, "All right, work these numbers. Work these numbers for me while I go talk to this dude." Yeah. He's like, what's the sales tax at? Was that we covered that in the class? Yeah, and I'm just and it's funny because he didn't. Yeah. Before we left the crib, he wasn't like, "Yo, I'm gonna have you work these numbers," or at some point in time, I'm gonna have you work these numbers. Yeah. It was, we're at the dealership, work these numbers.
Put you on the spot.
Put me right on the spot. And I'm like, okay, all right, fine. I did take that class. All right, let me, give me a pen and a piece of paper. I'm gonna work this out.
And we all got A's. Yeah, I know. He's like, I know you got an A in that class. So now the time to put it to work. To the test.
Put it to work. So he had me put it to work in the classroom. Put it to work at the dealership. Now I gotta go to the dealership, or now I've got to either maybe just purchasing a property or something, of that sort. Yep. But yeah, so that's high school.
Yeah, that was high school, man. I was on the finance tip early, and then from there, college, we all went our separate ways, and I went to UMass Dartmouth, enrolled into finance naturally, you know what I mean, and started digging in even deeper into my love for finance and corporations and stuff like that, and just opened up my eyes even more, man. College was good.
No, college it was definitely good. Eye opening. Yeah. To a lot of stuff. A lot of stuff I didn't need. Yeah. A lot of fluff, but there was a lot of stuff that I was able to absorb. So
there you go.
Yeah, so it was good that that all of us were able to
the experiences.
The experiences, the experiences.
College was a good time. Shout out UMass Dartmouth, man.
Yeah, shout out to BC. So yes, so now on to after college. Yeah. So I'm coming out of Home Depot. I don't know if you might not even remember this. Wow. So I'm coming out of Home Depot. And I see you with buckets. And you about to do some work. you were let me see. It looked like you about to do some spatch work.
Yeah, probably. Around that time.
So at that point in time, most of us were talking about getting up, going to work, finding out, what's your passion and all this stuff like that.
Yeah.
What, once you were done, what were you doing?
So let me go take it back to college, right? So beginning of college, real focused, right? So my goal and my brother's goal, me and my brother Jeff, we were like, yo, when we get out of school, we're not renting. We got to be buying property. I was like, yo, how we going to do that? You know what I mean? So let me tell you, I spent 5 years in college from 2001 to 2006. During that whole time, I had 3 jobs at any given point during those 3 years. I worked at UMass Library. Yo, I was a librarian, like, you know what I mean?
Francis the librarian, yo.
Phone-a-thon. I was calling alumni for money. And then we would work for, like, the wealthy folks in the Dartmouth area doing yard work and stuff like that with my boy Charlie, who's also my lawyer now. So,
nice.
Yeah, the whole time. So we grinded, right?
Networking. I got to interrupt real quick. You hear that? His attorney, was his classmate from UMass Dartmouth.
Dartmouth.
The importance of holding those relationships, not just college, but even outside of that, beyond college.
Right.
One of the heaviest, one of the biggest things that we did, that people don't do well with is managing relationships.
Yep.
And if you're able to manage relationships, I consider you a rich person.
Yeah,
for sure.
Exactly. Your network is your net worth. That's real.
For sure. All right. So Francis, sorry to interrupt you.
Yeah,
go ahead.
No. So that was the goal, man. So for 5 years, and me and my bro, we worked 2-3 jobs, stacked. Because we know we needed that 20% down payment, and it was gonna be a little bit harder. Just getting out of school, you got your first job, but by the grace of God, we had that paper stacked up, and I got my first job at State Street Bank and Trust. I was a fund accountant, so I got my little job there. And literally, man, it was like a month after I graduated, and I was moving into my first investment property. And literally, we lived there, and we worked on it at the same time, at the same damn time. So we worked. So literally, it was just like get up in the morning early before work, bang out some work, paint something, rip a wall down, whatever you had to do, right? Go to work, bang out your 9 to 5, come home, do that till 9, 10 o'clock until you passed out or whatever. You know what I mean? We flipped that property, made a nice little profit, did the same thing on the next one and the next one. So right after school, our first year, we got into 3 duplexes, man. Quincy, nice. Dorchester, and Randolph, actually. So
now
it was grinding.
What so year was this?
When you saw me, that was 2006, 2007.
2006, 2007. Yeah. So now, when you go on to a lot of these, I mean, not just like real estate, like websites or forums and stuff like that, or maybe like gurus. It's now they're talking about house hacking.
Yep.
I can't remember the term. I think it's the BRRRR.
Oh, the buy, renovate, rehab, and
repeat,
the rent, and then refinance.
Okay, yeah, so all right. So I know it's in that order. It's the BRRRR method.
Yeah, yep.
The BRRRR method. So you guys are doing it
back then.
Yeah. You guys are doing it back in 06, and it's. I started hearing it through mainstream in like what 2020, 2019.
There wasn't even a name to it back then. We was just found a way to get into a property, and we were just like, why live anywhere else and pay rent? Let's just live here, grind it out a little bit. Don't matter. Our girlfriends were cool with it. It was always a construction site at the spot, but hey, we enjoyed ourselves. We were young enough to do it. That was one thing. Right now, I could never do that. Right now,
fellas, did you hear the key thing that he just said?
Yep.
With the girlfriends, were okay with that.
Yeah,
that is I mean, I did a renovation at my house, And every day after work, I was doing the work, and Tanya would just look at me like, "Yo, when is this gonna be done?" You gotta have you're having a supportive spouse or girlfriend or whatever whatever your situation is very important. If you're gonna do stuff, if you're gonna do things like this or be an entrepreneur, you gotta have someone that's gonna have your back.
I'm so glad you said that, because that's like one of the keys to life. That's a hack right there. You know what I mean? If you don't got a good partner, guess what? Your journey is gonna be that much tougher, because now you got somebody who's not against you, but making it that much more difficult for you to do what you got to do.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So like a partner, that was back in 2006. That was my college sweetheart, and as you can see to this day, I married her. And we still going. We still moving, man.
Ain't dropping no names. Shout out.
TP.
Oh, shoot. That's Tanya's initials, too.
Yeah,
Shoot. Okay.
The Pierre lady.
Yeah, TP.
Yeah. It's Tracy Pierre, for those that don't know. My wife.
Oh, man. All right.
Yep.
So, yeah. So that kind of goes into the name.
Yeah, so it's funny because in 2006 we started a first company that was called OPM Real Estate Development, and from 2006 to 2008 we saw the market do some crazy things, because that led right up into 2008 recession, right? So just to kind of put in perspective the experience, right? Because we're young, we're doing well, making good money, flipping houses. It was the Wild Wild West back then, like some people like to call it. Then 2008 hit. Guess what? Everything halted quick, fast. If you're old enough and you've been through 2008, we saw literally every bank that we worked with just go out of business, right? Properties that we had, I would get a new letter every month. Your loan has been sold. Your loan has been sold. Your loan has been sold.
I hate that. I hate that feeling, yo.
It was crazy. So, like, that experience in those 2 years, having the highest of highs and then the lowest of lows when all the money dries up. And then, we thought we were going to be doing this real estate thing, like, on this level for the next 10, 20 years. But no one tells you about, you don't learn about market corrections and stuff like that. And just the stuff that you can't control, you know what I mean? That's going to happen. So 2008 hit. I looked back at everything. I was just like, whoa, we've got to do this real estate thing that much better than everybody else, because now it's a whole different market out there. It's a whole different game. And then when that came about, we kind of said, we got to revamp, you know what I mean? And the birth of the Blueprint Group happened right there, because what we wanted to do was to build a company that was never in a position where it was lacking or couldn't get the capital it needed to execute and do what it needed to do. So we kind of stepped back, refocused, started learning about things like business credit, different forms of capital that you can get. It's not just going to a bank and saying, give me a loan. You know what I mean? There's more to it. You know what I mean? And it's like, that's when it opened, and it was just like, yo, building a business means you need to structure that entity into an asset and not a liability. Because a lot of people have businesses, and that business is a liability. It's a burden on their head. So from that point, we started from scrap. You know what I mean? Like, what does a business need? What does a business have to do to structure itself to be, on a whole nother level where it can qualify for all these different forms of capital and things like that? And that's what led to the Blueprint Group. And essentially, we built something that we were looking for ourselves. You know what I mean? Back then.
Love it, man.
Long story short.
You could have made it longer, yo. It's perfect. No, I like hearing that story. You can hear the conviction in your voice when you talk about it. This is not the first time we've talked about this, so it's like the story hasn't changed. Every time we talk about it, it's like, yo, that 08, that 08 really really hit, man.
That was a pivotal point, man.
That really hit.
That was a blessing, because if that didn't happen, I wouldn't be where I'm at today. You know what I mean? So it's just like, you got to learn something from every good situation, bad situation. You got to take something away from it. You know what I mean?
I always say that. I've started saying that to my son. I was like, you know what? And what did you learn here?
Yeah.
Good, good or bad.
Learn something.
You learn something. Even you can even learn from. I'm not gonna call somebody an idiot, but you can even learn from an idiot. You can even learn from an idiot all day.
Yeah.
All day, yo. You can learn what not to do.
Yep.
So, yeah. Wow. So yeah. So you know. For me, you know, I was working for. I had just started working for a company.
Yeah.
And it seemed like things were just kind of back up on the upswing.
Yeah.
And I walked into the company. It was a large company.
Mm-hmm.
It was a large building, but not many people inside the building.
Wow, really?
So I stopped walking, accounting. I stopped walking through the building to get to my department.
Yeah.
Accounting department.
Gone.
No seats.
Vacant.
Marketing department. No seats.
Damn.
IT. There's like 2-3 dudes in there sitting in there being IT for the whole, being IT support for the whole for that whole location.
Wow.
And that company had just been bought out by a much larger company.
A lot of that was going on back then. A lot of that.
It was scary. It was scary. You know what's crazy? I didn't even know what I was scared of. I didn't even know what to be scared of. I just knew something wasn't right. I'm out here working, something's not right. And all you can hear from the older heads is my 401k, my 401k is it's like no, it's gone.
Yo, people were taking hits, man, hits. That was like, yeah, I remember that. Yep, 401ks were definitely taking a dive. Market was doing things people hadn't seen in years, man. Well, we never seen it. You know what I mean?
Wow. And I kind of I thought we would. People were saying that we would see that last year.
Yeah.
But it didn't happen. The market just kept going up.
Yeah.
No, keeps going up.
Keeps going up.
But
it's still up.
It's still up. Yeah. And who knows? They're talking about it now.
Still up for a little bit more. It's, there's a shift going on right now. That's for sure.
There's certainly a shift going on. Yeah.
Just got to be on the right side of that shift. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Definitely don't want to get caught with your shirt off.
No.
Oh, man. All right. So, yes. Okay. So, we've gone into, so we've covered your first endeavor.
Yep.
Now it's 2021. 2021 Blueprint Group.
Yep.
Before we even continue, I mentioned a couple weeks ago that my man won an award. I think it was in the top 100.
Yep.
He was in Vegas, right?
Yeah, Vegas.
Okay.
Yep.
So I said I was gonna have him on here so he can explain this himself, because I knew if I tried to explain it, I was gonna totally mess it up. So Francis, why don't you let the people know what you were in the top 100 for?
So Vegas, I was actually I won an award for top 100 leaders in finance, in the finance industry for small businesses. So essentially, I got nominated through a client that I worked with years ago, like 4 years ago, at another startup thing I was working on, a big project back then. And we've always kept in communication, and I've been advising her for past 4 or 5 years, and she secretly nominated me for this award. And then it was crazy because it was like in the middle of the COVID year, and they were going through things and, asking me questions and all these interviews and stuff like that. And surprisingly, in a COVID year, 2020, a lot of people, their businesses took a hit. Our business did really well. You know what I mean? We financed a lot of projects. We, luckily had the right relationships with different private equity sources. For people that don't know, that's kind of what we do is we partner strategically with private equity banks and private lenders and basically know where to get the capital and help people connect the dots and get that capital. So the right relationships, man, in a pandemic where they were still lending, where a lot of people weren't. And we were able to lend several millions of dollars to small businesses and real estate investors. We had a great year. And, past couple of weeks, I think it was June. Actually, in June, brought the whole family out to Vegas. They had a nice award ceremony. It was really, it was a nice recognition, you know what I mean? Because like every day we get up, we do what we do, we work from sun up to sun down, and to be recognized on a stage like that, you know, from a global company, Prism Events, they're huge. You know, they got their next one in Dubai in January, so hopefully we're gonna make it out there.
Yo,
if
bring
the
me,
world doesn't shut down.
bring me to
So,
Dubai, son.
it was definitely a great honor. Yeah, I'll take you. Come on, man. You family, man. You can get right in there. Yeah.
Oh, shoot. But yeah, I want to make sure I give you flowers for that.
Yeah,
That's
I
what's up.
appreciate you, bro.
Yeah.
Appreciate
Hell
you,
yeah.
man. Hands a
Yeah.
little sweaty.
Congratulations.
Hot,
Nah, no worries, yo. No worries.
But nah, it was a great honor. That was humbling, man. You know what I mean? To be recognized like that, that was dope. So the family got to see it. My baby girl, she was out there. The wife,
Oh man,
took the mother-in-law, everybody. You know what I mean? So it was cool.
that's nice. That's nice.
Yeah, bro.
Oh man, there's nothing better when you get to when you do something when you
Yeah.
do something like that and you get to bring your kids along.
Yeah,
And they
you
get
know,
to
for
see.
sure.
She might not even understand what's going on, but it's
Nah.
like,
She'll look back on it and see the pictures and be like,
she's
oh,
like, yo, I
cool.
was there.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
So that's
It was dope, man.
It
It
sounds
was
like quite
dope.
an experience.
Yeah.
yo.
And this year, you know, by the grace of God, we're actually doing better than last year. You know what I mean? Like, this fourth quarter, we're pushing hard. We got a few big projects in the pipeline right now. And, you know, this month alone, I don't like to jinx anything, but, you know, we might crack 10 million. That'll be a first in the company history of funding. So, you know, it's getting better and better every single year. And we just keep trying to help as many new people, new to the game, you know, people that want to start a business and get into it. And even the existing ones, you know, that just need another form, another outlet. That's kind of what I'm here for, man, to help people. Yep.
Yeah. You know, out of a lot of the things that you just said,
Yep.
I heard you say relationships, and relationships. Is I can never you can't even underestimate the value of
I'm telling you, man, that's gold, man. That's gold. Because to this day, like, I don't have a marketing budget for my business. You know what I mean? The only thing I do is like Instagram, you know, Facebook, just show people my network, what's going on. Those are people I have relationships with. But 97% of my business is referrals. You know what I mean? It's like I help one investor get access in a situation where he didn't think he could get the money, and then he tells the next person, and it just keeps going like that. So it's just like relationships, they're gold, man. Gold.
organic. That sounds like such organic growth, man.
Yeah.
And
Yep.
you know, to not to even have to spend money to even advertise your
Yeah.
services.
That's a blessing.
Yeah, man. And especially when you're offering, you know,
Yeah.
supreme service.
That's the
Yeah,
thing, you know what I mean? It's like, even if we did market, it would be too much, because me and one assistant right now, you know what I mean? And we're just beasting these loans and helping people. But like, the quality of care and service, because I know what I expect when I'm working with anybody, you know what I mean? You got to take care of me, you know what I mean? So it's like, with everybody, you're going to get the utmost service I could possibly give you, you know what I mean? And answering all your questions, educating you. And that's one big thing I do a lot, is educate people, just how the banks think, how underwriting works. Because a lot of people, they've got their own notion of how it should work. You know what I mean? Like, why can't I get this money like this? You know what I mean? Blah, blah, blah. And it's just like, no, well, you got to understand how the bank looks at you and how the bank thinks and how they assess risk. And once you kind of understand that, it starts to click for a lot of people, and they start to present themselves in the way that the bank wants to see. You know what I mean? So you can get that money.
Yeah, when you first presenting yourself, man, you just look like risk. That's it.
Yeah.
It's like a big thing of risk. So it's up to you not you. It's up to Francis basically to reduce the bank's risk, to make you not look like such a risk.
Yeah, exactly.
So he can get you funded.
So I can get you that capital, man. Yeah.
So
Yep.
if I'm running I'm running so we're gonna probably give a scenario here.
Yep.
So if I'm running a fleet, if I've got a fleet, if I'm running a transportation company,
Okay.
and I'm looking with me and my partner, we're looking to get started. We want to purchase 5 vehicles, get some drivers in there. You know, each vehicle is like $20K. So we're probably looking at, we need to get funded like $100,000, or
Gotcha.
you know, 100 grand. We'll say 100 grand. We'll throw another 30 on it. So $130.
$130. Okay.
How do we go about that? How do we go about that process?
Is this a new business, or have you guys been up and running for a little bit?
It's a new business.
New business.
We'll go both scenarios. We're gonna go both scenarios, just because I don't know we don't know who's listening.
Yeah.
Maybe somebody's out there who's in need of your services.
Yeah.
And they're in this particular situation.
Yeah,
so
no, definitely.
Well, so we'll give them both scenarios. So first, it's a new business.
A new business. So what I would say with a startup, right? A startup is not the hardest thing to get funded, but there's a little bit more work that needs to happen, right? Because when you're starting a business, you as the business owner are going to be looked at as the personal guarantor of that business, right? So personal credit, that's the first thing I'm going to ask is, how's your personal credit? A lot of people think they don't need their credit, but when it comes to starting a business at the beginning, I always say your business is like the kid that just goes off to college at 18. There's no credit. You need to co-sign everything for them, right? If they want to get a car, do this or whatever. So personal credit is going to be my first question to you. How's your personal credit? How's that look? So we'll run through that, doing that analysis of that. If the credit's really good, guess what? There's going to be some options for us. We can get some startup business credit to help you guys kind of establish yourselves and get on your feet, maybe get that first truck, buy a route. I do a lot with trucking companies, actually. Recently, that's been a big need right now, so that's been a hot topic. So definitely personal credit, that's going to be the first thing, because qualifying for term loans, those bigger lines of credit, you want to go out and get 10 trucks, it's not going to happen overnight. You got to work to that, you know what I mean? Yep. Especially a business with no tax returns, you can't show any income, you know what I mean? So it's going to rely heavily on you, the business owners, to kind of leverage your good personal credit to help get the business on its feet and establishes new lines of credit, you know what I mean, to get going. So that's what I would say for a personal business. For a new business.
For startup. Okay.
Existing business, I'm going to look at your bank statements, right? So like the last 3 to 6 months, we want to see what kind of activity you got. And the more activity you have, more deposits, guess what? We can leverage that into getting you term loans, equipment financing, so you can buy trucks. We just did several, actually. We had one trucking company, and they did about 50,000 a month. The guy's kind of strapped. He needs to get more trucks. We were able to get him $90,000 just using his bank statements, solely his bank statements. He didn't even need to have good credit at that point. You know what I mean? Because the business
is up and running, and it's doing its thing.
It's sustained itself. You know what I mean? Okay. So it's like every situation is different. You know what I mean? Every business is different. Everybody has different things going on. So the advisory, that's kind of where I come in. We kind of pick apart, have a session. What's going on in your life? What don't you have? What are you looking to do? Blah, blah, blah. So we can kind of strategically put a plan together to get you to that next step, whatever you're trying to do,
Okay.
Yep.
All right. So now I get funded.
Yep.
I get funded. What happens after that? Where are you hands off at that point?
I'm hands off in terms like, you got the money, you kind of do what you got to do, but I'm gonna check in. You know what I mean? Because I want to see the business succeed. The thing is, anybody that I work with, I'm not just like transactional, where I'm just like, all right, I got your money, I never want to talk to you again. No, I'm gonna check in, like, because there's other products and services that we offer that you're probably gonna need down the line, and you're probably gonna need more capital for the next thing and the next thing. So, it's the advising. I can't tell you exactly what to do once that money hits your account, but I could tell you, hey, maybe we want to allocate some towards marketing. Maybe this trucking service, getting trucks over here might be a little bit better. You know what I mean? And strategically use it so that down the line you're in a better position and you can continue to let the business grow.
All right.
You know what I mean?
All right. So I'm gonna ask you a question right now.
Yep.
Sometimes some people they get the bag.
Yep.
And then
that happens.
And then they just fly. They just fly with the bag. Just take off with the bag. The bag's got a mind of its own.
They had Strega and eating steaks and doing other stuff.
So that does happen.
Oh yeah.
People, you kind of, you're like, whoa, I just got funded with all this bread.
Yeah.
I can go from my business, or I can go stunt.
Yeah, and that's gonna happen. You know what I mean?
Man.
I definitely seen some people on Instagram. They in Jamaica, and I'm like, I didn't know they had a trip. You know, I didn't know you were going on vacation. But it's cool. You gotta have that work-life balance, but it's just make sure you're putting that money in the right place. You know what I mean, to make the business grow. You know, that's always gonna be my number one message, is you gotta make that business an asset. Don't make it a liability, because you spend all that money and the business ain't making enough money to pay it back. Guess what? You just got more liabilities, more headaches. So
basically, somebody's got to pay that bread back.
Someone's got to
pay it back, and it's not Francis.
No, it ain't gonna be me. I'm out of it at that point.
I just advise you to the best of my ability.
Exactly.
So yeah, okay, all right. So yeah, so it does happen. We do. People do get.
It's crazy, man. Because one thing I always tell people when I talk to clients for the first time or so, it's just like, yo, what's the exit strategy with your business? And a lot of people are stumped. They're like, exit? I'm gonna do this forever. And it's like, are you? You know what I mean? Because like, there always should be some type of plan. Is like, I want to start this business to build it up and sell it. You know what I mean? Maybe it's to sell it, your retirement money, or the legacy passed down to your kids. What are you going to hand down to your kids? A headache, a liability, or you're going to give them an asset, you know, a company up and running, something they could oversee, collect checks, you know what I mean, has assets. So, you know, there's got to be bigger thinking to that. You know, is your business going to be paying your health insurance too? Is it going to be liable? You know, it needs to be compliant. It needs to be in position to be able to offer those things to other people too, and besides yourself. So it's just like, we got to think about it like that, you know, think about, you could be real good at something and you turn it into a business, and that's fine. But, you know, that's for the business, but you always got to work on the business. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's one of those things. So you're at the point where you've built the business. And in order for you to be able to expand, or for you to be able to, you see something, you're working in it in the day to day. You can't see outside. You can't see past the day to day.
Yeah.
So you're unable to grow it. So now you start making mistakes. You make a move, and it's a move that locks you in, and you can't jump to the future. So yeah, stuff like that. Yeah. I do see things like that.
I'm guilty of it too. You know what I mean? I work like a madman, but I got a plan. You know what I mean? Like Carlito's Way. I'm trying to get out. You know, I'm like, I got to do all these things, get everything ready. But I'm not gonna work like this in 20 years. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'd rather take another approach, sit back a little bit, and more so let the things I work so hard for kind of run themselves. You know what I mean? And if I pass them down to my kids, if they want them, I don't know if they're going to want the businesses, but they can sit back, collect checks, or be however involved. But there's a plan, you know what I mean, is to make those things assets and let it sail away.
Yeah. Speaking of passing stuff down to your kids, you ever worry about, dudes is working so hard to make sure that the kids are all right. I mean, yeah. I think we came out all right.
Yeah, for sure.
So it's like, I mean, not to say I didn't work that hard, but my parents worked really hard, so I didn't have to work as hard
as they did.
And then it's then it's the same thing. Are we watering it down for some of these kids, yo?
That's funny you said that. That's I was actually talking about that a couple weeks ago, and it's like, it's times have changed, right?
Yeah.
So like when our kids are our age, the world's gonna be a lot different. So it's like, I wouldn't say necessarily watering it down, because the message that we deliver at home is always the most important thing, right?
Yeah.
So like, if your kids, if they don't want to take over the family business, right? Like if my daughter does not want to do anything with Blueprint Group, right? She wants to be an artist and paint pictures all day and do that. I want her to do that, you know what I mean? But the teachings that she's gonna have at home she will be in a position where she can do what she loves and do that art, still be financially secure.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And have all her ducks in a row, and she could be the best version of herself in whatever else that she wants to do, and not necessarily have to worry about money. And it's like you worry because
It's a
it's
balance.
like, because
You
you
got
want
options,
them.
you want them.
You don't want them to blow everything that you did, but if you raise them right and you deliver that message at home the right way, I think that you'll raise some decent people that know what to do with it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I don't want money to control everything. You know what I mean? It's
Yeah.
there. Wealth, you know what I mean? Generational wealth is just, it's there. You know what I mean? But it shouldn't dictate everything. You know?
Yeah, it has me thinking. I think about that. I think about that all the time, yo. And like I sit there, I'm like, yo, I gotta have. Like, you gotta have, make sure make sure they have this. Make sure they have this.
Yeah.
You know, when he turns 18, he's gonna have this. Because I didn't have it, he's gonna have to have it.
Yeah.
And then sometimes, like, all right, yo, you gotta chill. 'Cause
Yeah.
what's gonna happen is he's gonna end up having like. Obviously, I'm having those conversations with him. He's only like 8 now. Like. Autumn, anything I talk to her about, she's laughing. So forget it. Yeah. But Isaiah, I talked to him. Yo, he messes up. I'm like, yo, this is. I mean, for me, I was dude was getting battle. Like it was just instant.
We grew up
instant.
Different.
Yeah. Dudes getting smacked up now, and you know. Yeah. You knew what you did wrong.
Yeah.
But you getting smacked up in that, and that was like it. There wasn't really gonna be an explanation for it really.
You just knew it was coming, and then you just try to correct it yourself, and like, I ain't doing that again.
Yeah, I'm not gonna do that again. Oh my God, that's the end result. I ain't doing that again. Right? Oh, jeez.
You go on no parts of that.
I just got the brush.
Yo, right?
but yeah, so now he does something.
Yeah.
Now I've got to make sure I take the time. I'm thinking about when I was a kid and I messed up and did something stupid. And now I'm just like, yo, come here. Yeah. Come here. Come sit on my lap. Come here. I gotta talk to you like real close.
We gotta talk.
We gotta talk.
Yep.
Like, yo, you see what you just did? Talk to me about it.
Yeah.
He tell me what he did. I'll tell him, and I'll explain to him what I saw.
Yep.
And then I'll be like, yo, if you do this, this is why this happened.
Mm-hmm.
If you did it this way, this is what would have happened.
Yeah.
And then I see him looking at me and everything, and things, you can see the wheels turning and things are clicking in his process.
Yeah.
But I gotta say like 2-3 times before it really starts to stick. And I was like, yo, did I really have to? I'm like, no wonder why I was getting it like that, yo. Yeah. They had to tell me like 3-4 times not to do something.
But there you go. That, to your point, you know what I mean? It's delivering that message at home, you know, and instilling that. It's parents are important, so I always try to be around. As much as I'm working, I'm always present. You know, with my daughter, is just like Saturday mornings we got gymnastics. She knows I'm gonna be there. We talk on the way. We do our breakfast thing. You know what I mean? I put her to bed, but we always got to be present and always consistently around to deliver that message. Because once you're not there to consistently do it, other influences take place, man, and the influences nowadays.
Wild, man.
There's just certain things out there. I'm going to say I got no problems with people's lifestyles and choices, but like when you have a kid and then you see some of the stuff they're starting to get exposed to.
Heavily influenced. And like, I'm just like,
yeah,
I just don't want you to get confused. So it's funny you say that. You like 2 weeks ago, I had to pull Isaiah. I saw something, and I was like, boy. Yeah. I was like, Isaiah's upstairs playing video games. I was like, yo, son, come downstairs. I gotta talk to you. I don't know if you saw this.
Yeah.
But
we're having a teaching moment.
We gotta, yo. I need you to sit right here next to me. Yeah. We gotta talk.
We gotta talk.
I'm like, yo, if you see this, if you see something and it doesn't look right to you, yo, just grab me.
Yeah.
Just grab me, grab mom, grab Uncle Pat.
Yeah.
Grab whoever you know that mom and dad will trust, that that's always around, and you can ask them questions, and they'll be very honest with you. So that's the way that I've been dealing with him. That's what I've been working with.
That's the best way, man. You know, and the thing is, like, you setting that precedence, he feels comfortable enough now to always bring anything to you. You know what I mean? When we grew up, We didn't always feel comfortable bringing stuff to our parents. Like, nope, I'm gonna avoid that. I'm not talking about that with them. No, you know what I mean? And they were uncomfortable talking about certain things. You know what I mean? So it's just like, but the generations have changed, it's shifted. So we're having different conversations now. You know what I mean? So like, it's good, man. You know what I mean? It's fun. It's definitely a fun time.
Definitely fun. It's funny how I can see how my parents dealt with me versus how they deal with my son.
Yeah.
I'm like, yo, I don't know anybody else out there. You know what? I know. Most of y'all, I bet most of y'all out there, especially Haitian, y'all had the couches. Y'all had the couches with the plastic on them. The forbidden room. Nobody was allowed to go sit in the room. You take your shoes off when you go in there. That's for the guests.
I don't know about you, but my pops with my daughter, I'm like, there's things I'm trying to instill in her. And he's just like, yo, you're too hard on her. I'm like, man, do you know what you were saying to me, bro? Like, what I was doing? It's a whole different shift, man. It's crazy.
Yo, when Isaiah started walking, they took the plastic off the couches.
Oh, yeah?
They took the plastic off the couches, and Isaiah started walking around, drinking in that room. And I'm looking at mom. I'm like, your mom. And she's like, oh, that's okay. That's fine. I'm like, yo.
Are you serious?
Come on.
For my whole life, if I even step foot in there, you would have a problem with me. And now it's just okay. You know,
things don't change, yo.
Grandkids make you different. I don't know. Hopefully one day I'm lucky enough to experience that. But we'll see.
Until then, we grind it out.
We grind it out until then. But.
So, I think we talked. I think we got into the majority. Covered a lot of stuff. Especially, I want to make sure I covered a lot of business wise. Yeah, because we have different age groups that that do listen to the podcast. Whether it's some college kids that are very early on in their careers and in their college careers, and maybe they realize that college isn't exactly going to be the route, and they've got something that they want to focus on, and they just don't have the capital to be able to do.
No, this is important, man. I like what you're doing with this relevant discussions, because it's you guys are talking about a lot of different topics. And I remember a few months ago, I was like, yo, I got to get on there and just talk about credit, you know what I mean, and entrepreneurship, because what I noticed in the past year, especially when the pandemic started, is there has been a shift. People took a look at their careers, and companies are looking at people differently, and now it's just like a new age has come upon us where entrepreneurship, I feel like, is at an all-time high. I'm on Instagram. Everybody's got a product. I'm trying to get into real estate. They're doing this, doing that, and it's great. It's just at the same time, that little project or whatever can also be a burden or a liability if you don't go about it the right way. So I really wanted to get on here and just talk to people, man, and just like find a mentor, advisor, hit me up or whatever, and really educate and school yourselves on business, finance, get as much information as possible so you're making the best decisions, because it's really about setting yourself up and your family to be successful, right? And business can be fun, man. I get a thrill, like a rush every day I get up. I don't get up like, oh man, I gotta go back. No, I love it. You know what I mean? I can't wait to meet with my construction guys, and then go look at this property, and then I know I gotta make these 10 phone calls and gotta get these loans funded. Like, I get a rush off of that, and it's fun, and it's it's just it's an interesting time. So it's just like the importance of credit, doing business right, structuring your entity right, building business credit. People still have a lot of misconceptions out there, what business credit is, how to do it. These things are real, real important. So it's just like, I'm here, man, just looking to get the message out. You know what I mean? So a lot of free information on our website. This is www.ftbpg.com. I'm sure you'll put something up, a little graphic or something.
Put something up for you.
Go to the website. That's ftbpg.com. Follow the Blueprint Group. There's free info, material, ebooks. Like, I have a great ebook. It's literally 63 pages long, but it tells you everything about a business from A to Z. You take that, read it, skim through it, do what you got to do. There's tons of gems in there. People just need to know, man, and just start there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Start there. Pick up the phone, call somebody, ask questions, and just keep going. Just grow. You know what I mean? Don't stay stagnant. That's the biggest thing.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. You when you get that stagnant, it's like a feeling when it's stagnant, yo.
You don't want to be stagnant, man.
You just get that feeling. You're just like, yo, this. I need more right now.
Yeah,
I need more. I'm happy with what I've got.
Yeah,
enjoy what I have, but I need a little bit more. And you just
Levels.
keep pushing yourself to the next level.
Levels, yeah.
And don't and definitely don't be afraid to to bring your people up too.
Yeah,
for
yeah.
sure.
That's
Yeah.
big, man. Your circle, sharing information, knowledge with each other. That's huge, man. Sometimes people just want to keep things close to the vest and not share. If you met me, you know I'm an open book. So anything I know, I'm gonna give it to you. You know what I mean? I had lunch with somebody the other day. They're taking notes while I'm talking. At the end of our talk, there's like 4 or 5 pages of notes, and I'm like,
I just gave you all that.
Yeah. I'm like, all right, cool. You know what I mean? It's like they took a lot away from it. You know what I mean? So it's just like sharing information amongst each other, just kind of building each other, supporting each other. That's important, man. But just doing it the right way. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, I always say like Coca-Cola is a company with the EIN number. And, they registered the company the same way that you can register your business and have an EIN number, right? There's no ceilings to a corporation or a business. You can take it as far as you want to go. You could be as big as Coca-Cola if you wanted to, but there's a way to do it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
you gotta do it right too, yo.
do it right.
They be coming after you.
Yeah. Yep. That's true. Big facts.
I haven't even looked into it, but the fact that they about that thing that they proposed with the any transaction over $600
$600, yeah, man. I just posted that, and that's like
oh.
They really trying to harp down, and like the whole crypto thing has got them kind of nervous, and people are making millions of dollars with crypto. You know what I mean? And there's a lot of transactions and stuff, but yeah, I wasn't a fan of that. And anything over 600,
that's wild.
They gotta look. It's like you guys should spend your time doing other stuff other than that. You know what I mean? There's more important things. But
yeah, like this somewhat pandemic.
Yeah,
you might want to figure that out first. Yo,
might want to figure that out.
Can't see all the manpower.
There's a lot of businesses out there looking for people, and it's a weird time right now. It's a weird time, so I tell people you gotta like strategically position yourself to be on the right side of things. You know what I mean? Because in a year, it could be a whole different market, whole different ball game.
I expect it to be a different ball game.
Yeah,
for
I
sure.
expect it too. So yeah, man, just we kind of buckle up.
Okay, so before we take off here, so Francis, I know you work a lot.
Yeah,
You work a lot. You just said that. You make sure you take the time to tuck the little one in at night.
Yeah.
What do you do to unplug?
Ooh, good question. Unplug, man. Yo, honestly, it sounds corny, but like my family time. You know what I mean? Making time on Sundays. I don't rarely pick up the phone. You know what I mean? I'm like watching. Now it's football season. That's kind of how I relax. I watch football.
The family in the room when you're watching it?
Sometimes, there are going to be people that come in there and stuff like that. But in my house, Sunday, my wife is always thrown down in the kitchen.
Nice.
So anybody that comes to our house on a Sunday, you'll have a plate. You know what I mean? So it's like that. And, really, it's just like kicking back with the fam. You know what I mean? Really just, you got to unplug and chill. You know what I mean? Quality time with the wife is always important, too. Without the kid.
Yes.
Got to do dinners, leave the baby with grandpa, grandma, and just go have a nice dinner, you know what I mean? And not think about work and just try to unplug, you know what I mean? Take a trip here or there. But yeah, I do work a lot. You know what I mean?
There's nothing wrong. There's nothing wrong with that. I know a couple. I know a couple dudes. A couple times, like, son, you're gonna have to like relax. Nah, I gotta go.
After this, I'm going back to the office. I'll probably be there till 9:00 tonight, just trying to catch up on stuff. We got some closings coming out at the end of the week, so I'll do that. But I'll go home and I'll relax and hopefully kiss the baby girl. Good night. But yeah, man, family time. That's the biggest way. Is just always make time for family. Take a quick weekend trip or something like that, you got to do it. Yeah, you got to do it. What do you do?
I have to say the same thing. I've been guilty of not having my phone even around me.
Yeah.
It could be even during the week. Like sometimes I'll get home.
Yeah.
So the way my schedule is set up, like I pretty much front load it to early in the morning.
Yep.
And then I'm home like by the time Isaiah gets off the bus. So I can spend time. I can spend even if it's like 15 minutes of shooting around with him. I think he's good with that.
Yeah.
Like,
just being present.
Just being present. Just being present. Like even when I was a kid, I remember my dad going to my ball games. Going to my basketball game.
Yeah, that was
so
big.
Like I remember that like that stuff I remember that stuff. So he was just there.
Yeah.
Even if I played like trash,
I
probably remember a few of those games. And he'd be sometimes I was like, I wish he didn't come. He's talking about the whole ride home. He's like, you should have did this. You should have did this. And, he's a big. He into soccer. So he's like, yo, you gotta move like this. I'm like, yo, you just did like a soccer move. We're playing basketball, yo. Come on, man. Just being present for both kids.
You got to.
My wife. Thing. It's very. I put it in my calendar at the end for every evening. Really? For like an hour or two. Yeah. It says family time.
It's so hard, man. The phone is like, dangerous. I'm glued to this thing all the time, and work is just always going. But it's just like
you running a business through there.
Yeah,
that's basically what it is. That's that's what my wife's doing that now.
Yeah,
responding to clients like
Body by Tanya. She's doing her thing, man. I like what I'm seeing on there.
She's definitely doing her thing. Watching this gonna be a quick plug.
Yeah.
She's anybody in the Marlboro area and Central Mass. Tanya's gonna be doing boot camps. Body by Tanya. She'll be doing boot camps on Saturday mornings at Encompass Gym. So if you're in the area, I think they do day passes or just sign up and get a membership.
I love how her business has grown, man. Because like I've seen it, you know what I mean, the past couple of years. Because she was a nurse before, right?
She was a medical assistant. Yeah. She was a medical assistant, and the goal was to be a nurse.
Yeah.
And she was just like, you know what? Yeah. She was like, she just felt like it was too money driven.
Yeah.
She was, she's the kind of person that that shows a lot of care with her patients. The patients remember her and stuff. So it's like, with it being so money driven, she's just kind of like, I don't think I want to go continue in the nursing.
She's transforming lives, man. I see the progress pictures that she's posting. I'm like, wow, damn. It's just like another one. You know what I mean? 3-4 months working with her. They're a whole different person, man.
Yeah, some of y'all husbands should be thanking me. Y'all should be thanking me, yo. I let my wife come through and do her thing.
Do what she gotta do,
man. Yeah, Tanya out here changing lives. I love you, baby.
Yeah, that's what's up.
So yeah, man. I think we could wrap this up.
Yeah, man, this is good, man. I gotta come back, man. I gotta see T, and we'll have another discussion about something else. But
when she's done unplugging, it's been hard to catch her, man.
It really, yeah.
Man, good for her.
Yeah,
good for her, yo. I be talking to Pat.
Yeah,
I be talking to Pat. I don't even hear her in the background.
Really? She got nothing else.
There's nothing, yo. Not there. Good for her, yo.
That's what's up, man. But I'll be back for sure.
Yeah, appreciate it, Francis. Thank you so much I appreciate you. Appreciate your time. Thank you for coming down here to share some gems with me and the listeners.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a wrap, man.
All right.
Thank you.
Yeah, appreciate you.
Everybody out there, like, listen, subscribe. You definitely find us on Spotify. We out.
Follow the blueprint.
Discuss that. We out.
Chill.